today I'll be reviewing Bloodlines by Mead. Now, Bloodlines is the first book of the Bloodlines series. And if you don't know about the Bloodlines series is actually a spin-off series from Mead's other series, the Vampire Academy series. Now, in this series, we follow Sydney Sage, who we meet in the fourth Vampire Academy book, Blood Promise. At the beginning of the book, Sydney is woken up by her dad to find out that Joe Dragonmare is in danger and must go into hiding. And it's Sydney's job to help take care of her and protect her by posing as her sister and roommate at this private boarding school in Palm Springs. Once they get to Palm Springs, Sydney finds out that there's a tattoo parlor that has been giving out tattoos with special ink. And throughout the book, Sydney tries to find out what's so special about the ink and who's been providing the tattoo parlor with the special ingredient to put into the ink. Here's my review on the book. I love this book. I was not planning on reading the book because I had just read the Vampire Academy series and I wanted to wait until the movie came out before I started this series. But a week before the movie came out, I was like, why was I waiting? Might as well read it now. So I got started on this book. I got started on Bloodlines, and let me tell you, I could not put the book down. I read it in one day, and I loved it. I mean, I was not a big fan of Sydney in the Vampire Academy series because she was just another character that obviously she was not a fan of vampires. But in this book, I found myself to be able to connect with her more, and I found myself starting to like her a lot more than I did in the Vampire Academy series, because you find out about the way she grew up. She grew up with her father training her and her sister to become alchemists, and she actually took in the alchemist job so her little sister won't have to become an alchemist. And like the way she grew up, her father would tell him like, oh, vampires are the creatures of the night and you shouldn't be friends with them. Since Sydney never grew up with vampires, you get her views on how she thinks about vampires and how she treats them, basically. In this book, you also get some returning characters. You get Jill, who is Alyssa's half sister, Eddie, who is Rose's friend, and Dampier, and you get Adrian, who, if you read the Vampire Academy series, you know who Adrian is. You also get some new characters. You meet Keith at the beginning of the book, who is another alchemist, and you realize instantly that Sydney is not a big fan of him. And at the end of the book, you find out why she does not like him. And you also meet Trey Juarez, who is a human at the boarding school, and throughout the book he becomes Sydney's friend. Throughout the book he becomes Sydney's friend, and you find out, and he was actually the one who told her about the tattoos. Like I said before, I was not a big fan of Sydney in the Vampire Academy series. I mean, I liked her, but I didn't like pay much attention to her because she was just another character. But in this series, I loved her because you learn about her, life, and then she's like the total opposite of Rose. Whereas Rose is act first, think later, act first, questions later. Sydney thinks her action through before she actually do them. She's one of the few people who doesn't brush Adrian off as Adrian is being Adrian. She wants Adrian to actually do something with his life, and she actually helps pay for his classes when she finds out that he couldn't get financial aid. So that's one thing I liked about her. She doesn't use the excuse of Adrian being Adrian just for Adrian to like get away with things. And she was there to experience like Adrian's downfall, his meeting with his dad, and she stood up for him. So I really like her. I found myself to like her a lot more because of that. And overall, I like this book because it's just like Vampire Academy, except now we get Sydney's point of view, and also Adrian's in it, and I love Adrian. What can I say? And if you like the Vampire Academy series, you should definitely pick up this series. And if you're debating, you should do it because this series is really good, and I like this series more than the Vampire Academy series just because Adrian's in it. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5 because I love this series. And if you love the Vampire Academy series, then you should definitely read this series. You should definitely start this series. I'm sorry this review sucks, but This is my first review, and I'm a little nervous. So yeah, overall, you should definitely read this book. You should definitely start. If you like the Vampire Diaries series, you should definitely read this one. And that's it. Bye guys.